Jake from Evo3D Media.
It's my passion and my love's always been marketing and building businesses. Every business is a cup and you've got one jug of water, right?
Yeah, definitely. It is addictive.
Oh, it's definitely an addiction, yeah.
They're like this. This is getting weird.
Welcome to Bizvoices, the podcast that amplifies the business beat. Hosted by Cameron Mills, award-winning entrepreneur and founder of the acclaimed Cameron Mills Group. Each episode brings you face-to-face with some of the most influential minds in business today. Join Cameron as he talks to directors, CEOs, and industry leaders, uncovering the struggles of running a successful business and revealing top strategies for growth, leadership, and innovation. Get ready to hear real stories, practical advice, and the insider insights you won't find anywhere else. So, sit back, relax, and let's amplify your business journey on Bizvoices, an Evo3D Media production.
Okay, so it's time for today's episode, and you may see that this podcast is brought to you by Evo3D Media. Now, today's guest is going to be able to give you an insight into that more than anyone, because it is Jake from Evo3D Media. How you doing, buddy?
Very well, thank you. That is a brilliant introduction.
Well, you know, it didn't take long.
Didn't take long
Not
at all. First time that was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. And this is quite exciting because, as I've said, people have been seeing, you know, this is brought to you by Evo3D Media.
Yeah.
And today you can give us a proper insight into what that is and what you do. And it's not just Evo3D Media. There's so much. So can you tell us a little bit more about, what do you do?
Yeah, so I guess, firstly and foremost, I set up Evo3D Media. Originally, it wasn't to do media, it was to do sales.
Okay.
So I had quite a long career in sales to start with, working with tech companies based out in Silicon Valley, and we had quite a bit of success, and we thought, right, well, we'll do this. We'll leave.
Yep.
We exited and we left, and we went to start our own agency, representing brands from all over the world, selling them into Europe.
Right. Yeah.
But quickly realised we needed marketing to do that, and so the marketing element or the media element was born, and that was kind of like 9 years ago now.
Wow.
So it's quite a long established company, really.
Yep.
And I guess the version of it, as the name, obviously evolving as it does.
Yeah.
We're now heavily focused on media and marketing, and that's really what Evo3D Media is. You know, it's a creative based marketing agency that does cool things like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which we love to do, and obviously, you know, lots of on-site capturing content for brands, for people, for different industries, really varied. So quite exciting, really, and we're really excited to work on this with you guys.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It is cool,
yeah.
and I'm looking forward to seeing some of the people that will come on and their stories as well, because it's really interesting for me.
And talking about evolution, what's exciting is we don't actually know all of the future, like who is going to come on. We don't know who we're going to talk to, and that's kind of what keeps it fresh, keeps it exciting, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, but yeah, there is other elements to the sort of business world that I'm in. We have a sort of focus on technology. We've started a number of companies, but the ones that are here today and the ones that we're really focused on, and the building actually that we're in, has some of that, some of the artifacts lying around and people. We've got Evo3D, so still on the Evo theme, so Evolution 3D. Yeah. So we went into 3D additive, so 3D printers, selling them into all sorts of industries, so really big printers, not the small ones you see at home, like they're pretty big. And we've been really successful with that. That was sort of 2021 that I set that up. Cool. And then we've worked that through, and we now manufacture our own technology. And there's another business that we formed off the sort of what they call it, a spin-off, which is Rapid Fusion, which is robot 3D printers. We'll probably have to put something in the shop maybe to show you what they look like, but they're massive. They're next
that'd
door.
be cool just to visualize it a little bit.
Have you seen them yet?
I've seen when I pulled up. Yeah, it's like something from like outer space.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's quite cool. Yeah. So there's a lot going on. I guess my passion and my love's always been marketing and building businesses, like building brands, really.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm very lucky that we were able to do that.
It's cool, isn't it? And one thing that comes up for me there when you're talking about it is, obviously there's loads of things going on, and I'm certainly guilty for it. You know, once you start something, don't you, and a business starts, and then because you're like, well, I'm in control. I can do stuff. Things are going well. You can kind of just do loads of different things. And so many people I talk to, like even on this podcast, you know, people say great bit of advice is not just try to kind of walk before you start running straight away.
Yeah.
And that's a great bit of advice. So how have you managed that? Because obviously they're all doing really well, but they're so different, really. You know, they do all link.
Yeah.
But they are quite different when you talk about, you know, media and content, and then you talk about cranes and robots. You know.
Yeah. I think probably one of the biggest pieces of advice, I think you hit it there, was in the beginning you think you're kind of untouchable, right? So you start a business, you make some successes. There's a romancing of a new business as well, right? So actually feeling quite fanatical about it, excited. You start it and it has some mixed success, hopefully. Not everyone does, but
of course.
And then you think, well, I can do this, that, or the other. And I think it's a bit of a cardinal sin, really.
Yeah.
I think where I would have maybe made differences in, you know, changes to what I've done is starting another business in the first year of the first one. You know, because we were doing really well. We had a really good year the first year we started.
Yep.
I had lots of spare money and thought, right, we'll start another business. So we set up another business, which was called Loop, which was a technology refurbisher. So refurbishing iPads, laptops, selling them through Amazon. Was one of their first original partners to be able to sell on Amazon anything refurbished.
Yeah,
it's a big thing now, but this was like 8 years ago.
Before that was big,
and that went really well as well. And we're like, right, I'll buy another business or I'll do that. And and I think the reality of it is, you are, you know, the analogy that some people use is if you put, you know, every business is a cup and you've got one jug of water, right? You can either pour all your efforts into one cup and put all and go full bore on that, or you're spreading that water quite thin across all the cups, right?
Yeah.
So
that's quite nice. It's nice sometimes to see an analogy like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
To make it a bit more clear, if you like.
So it's a risk.
Yeah.
What I have learned in time, this is why it does work now, is you've got to bring on the right people early doors. So when you get something moving, learning to hire and build a team that then fulfill that vision and work with you on that vision, but you're not doing all of the parts of the puzzle, right? If you spin all those plates and you try and have more plates, they will fall off. And that's and that has happened. Like, you learn that lesson.
Yeah.
You go, wait a minute, all of these things would have worked, but if I'd have just done that one thing and went full bore on it, would it have been bigger?
Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, and you've got to not fill the jug up again as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I feel I do. So I've got my jug of water. I mean, you know, you spread it nicely and then you just fill up the
fill it
jug
up,
again and then you start again.
But that's you. But that's you, isn't it? The jug is like your effort, and you kind of go, well, I can burn out here if I'm doing so many things. And that's a real issue as well, right?
Yeah, that's a huge point. And it's something I'm really quite passionate about talking about on this as well, because when it is your baby and you say you're so passionate, especially when it first starts, like it's the best thing in the world, isn't it? And like, it comes before everything, and you can't help that. That's what you do. But then, you know, you eventually, you know, as they say, you're going to cook the goose, don't you? Or whatever that saying is. Like, before, when I was young, everyone would say, well, you know, don't burn out, look after yourself. And then some people are like, oh, you're young, you'll be all right. And then I'm like, yeah, it's fine. You know, it's great. We're doing a great thing. But then actually you start to think, hang on a minute, I'm struggling here a little bit, and you lose creativity. That's the biggest thing, isn't it? Because
you can,
you don't want,
especially
you're not
with what you do. I mean, every job's, every business is different.
Yeah,
but I think it definitely takes a lot off you.
Yeah,
I think to have something that other people don't have takes something different, right? To achieve that. So
true,
you can't expect to build, you know, £1 million businesses. You know, we turn over millions. If you want to make millions, you've got to sacrifice a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of effort.
Very true.
And that's really the way it is. And also my candles, I think, never ending. The wicks getting maybe a bit shorter as we go.
Yeah, it will. Yeah,
I do feel there'll be a point in time where you have to go, well, there's now, hopefully you reach a point of inception where the business is making enough revenue and doing well enough that you can take that step back.
Absolutely.
I don't know anyone who's done it.
No,
it's very rare.
They've tried it. I've seen plenty of people try it, and then they're back next month. It's like,
you either have to leave, I think, like leave it with someone else to do it, or just because it's that itch is always going to be there, isn't it? You're always going to want to do more and get involved.
That's why you do it initially, isn't it? Because you've got those ideas and you want to do it.
Yeah,
you know, like that's
and maybe you step back and it does better.
Yeah,
you know, sometimes you can be the hindrance to it, right? Other people figure things out.
Yeah, when you can't be good at everything, you know. I think I was speaking to somebody the other day who said, you know, you can't be the best at every area, and you need to step back and go, actually, you're better at that than me, and you've got to know that. And actually, I'm better at that bit than you.
Yeah.
So you take that, you run with that, I'll take that, and I'll run with that, and it's going to be great, you know. So I think it's just knowing to stop and
Oh God, yeah.
and like let someone else take control for
I
a little
think
bit.
when you're quite a like, I don't know how I perceive, right? It's hard to always know, but people give you glimmers in the business of how you perceive. But I think where sometimes with me, because of my personality,
Yeah.
and because of how much I sort of put into every area, people will lean into that because they think, well, I need to run it past Jake. Jake needs to answer this question.
Yeah.
One of the problems I have is probably too many questions being asked and me being the answer to a lot of the questions. And that's my
hard.
failing, really.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I need to change that. That's a cultural change that I need to shift.
That's a good point.
But
yeah.
it's really difficult when it's your baby as well.
Yeah.
So you don't want to micromanage everybody. You want them to sort of make their own mistakes and learn their own lessons because that's part of their development as well, right?
Absolutely.
But it's really difficult to do because you still got to keep the wheels moving forward every day.
Absolutely. And because you're so passionate about it, you know that it's down to me. It's my, like you say, it's your baby.
Yeah.
And if, it's great that these people are trying stuff and like you say, things will go wrong, but actually at the end of the day, you still think, well, actually, when it comes down to it, it'll be me that did it wrong, even though I wasn't there.
Cost me money.
Yeah, well, to put it clearly, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And you mentioned people. I think what I'd like to talk about a little bit there as well is when's the right time, because a lot of people say that like the best thing, like my dad, he's business orientated. He's always said to me, people is the best thing you can do. It's really good. But when's the right time to do that? Because I think everyone goes, you need help. That's what I say every day. Someone says, well, you need more help. Like you're taking
I've
too
had
much.
all sorts, like you need an assistant,
all
you
of
need
that.
this, and I'm like, nah.
Exactly. So when do you know when to do that?
So I think obviously we've hired and we've got, the team's growing all the time. There's a couple of things on that. Firstly, the big mistake people make is leaving that too late.
Yeah.
So they're really a solopreneur really at this point. They're not really, I hate that term, but you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
They're a one-man band, to not be disrespectful, but that's what you are.
No,
really.
and you get to that point though when you're the only one who can answer the questions because you've left it too long.
That
links to that.
Yeah, but it's like you need to hire, and what you should always do is make a decision, right? There's a lot of businesses out there that make good revenue that are a very good work balance. If you're one person, you're doing a job, you make money, you have to make a decision to either want to grow or not. And not always is it the right decision to grow. This is the other thing, like saying you want to grow, because we think it's the right thing. Right, I've got a business, I need to make more money. And
you've just got to grow.
You don't always have to. But if you do make that decision,
like that.
If that is what you want to do, then you need to hire. Now, one of the big mistakes people make is leaving it too long, but the other is doing it too cheaply. And I think if you invest in the right person, you'll see astronomical growth because they'll be able to mirror what you do and maybe some things better.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's where businesses sort of on their first hire, and we definitely did it, we penny pinched and said, well, we'll get someone younger and they won't know this, won't know that. But reality is then they become sometimes bad hires and they make it harder for you to take that plunge again because maybe they go and you think, I'm going to go back to me again. It's all going to be back on me because it's 100%. Easier. So I think making the right hire at the right time and it's probably paying a little bit more than what you wanted to is probably the best advice I can give you because someone who's really good will transform your business.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the time saving as well, because actually, you say about, if you have someone in that's maybe not doing the best of jobs, or maybe like you say, they are young, they're new to it. You're going to have like an added role of being a mentor and a you know what I mean? Like, and you've taken on another person and another job.
Now. You're a trainer and you're doing their job still because you're having to look over their shoulder and you're training.
And improving everything, all of that. That's really a good point.
You want to bring people in, if you can afford to, bring people in at a higher level than what you were looking to spend, even if it's part-time or you get them on as a consultancy or something, or just to have that quality so that they are adding to what you're doing rather than taking.
Yes.
These are all like really good. What we've covered already is like, don't start something else before you finish the first one. Add resource at the right time, but get good resource. These are probably the fundamentals of where everyone goes wrong. They're probably the most basic things. Well, now we talk about it.
Definitely. And like you said, but so important because that could be like the make or break. Although simple, I think really important.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing we've talked about like off camera as well and off the podcast is work-life balance. But I feel we're both, and we're both going to try and sit here and give advice, but I feel we're both really bad at that.
We are really bad at it.
But maybe
yeah.
by talking...
I don't know. I mean, it sounds like we're both in the same boat.
Yeah, but maybe by both admitting that we're really bad at it, it might inspire others to think, well, we don't want to end up like that.
I think you've got, like, I have only certain amount of rules. So
Okay, yeah.
mine are like weekends, I try not to do anything.
Okay.
And it does creep in sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
But the problem is with that is if you let it creep, you start to make it a habit.
And people will expect it.
And it, depending on what the work is that you do, but we're Monday to Friday, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So if I'm opening a laptop on a weekend, but I've been away all week working, you know, my situation is I'm living still up in Shropshire.
Yep.
And I'm commuting down here every week, staying here, you know, Monday night to Thursday,
Yeah.
and traveling back. It's very unfair of me then on a weekend to open up a laptop
Absolutely.
and be like, actually, I've got a few things to sort out.
Yeah, yeah.
So you need to make, and then there's the family dynamics and the partner dynamics, and how does that work? And it, you know, the best time to really work like this is probably when you're single.
Yeah.
And you know, go at it really heavy. But the reality is, you know, you are going to want to have someone in your life, or you want, you know, and you want friends, even just friends and family.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they would never see you. And when my family, you know, outside of my immediate family, you know, my siblings and stuff, they probably see me twice a year.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like
No,
not very often.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a lot of sacrifices. But you said something before about like work is life.
Yeah.
And I kind of think that is part of it as well. You know, I love what I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
it is you.
Yeah.
Because you created it and it's you in a business, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
So you can't, you know, you never really want to complain because you're kind of doing something you love.
Yep.
Constantly.
Definitely.
Which is great, right?
Yeah, and it's just it's kind of, it is addictive. I think it's the only other word
it's
to it,
definitely
right?
an addiction, yeah.
Yeah.
It's 100% an addiction.
I mean, and is it healthy? Is it as healthy as other addictions? People say, well, it's better than drink or drugs, but it probably isn't actually. You know, like the amount you do, you know?
No, I don't know if there's I think that when you're burning out, you know, I've never really burnt out, I don't think. I've got to the point where I've been tired, exhausted, not function as well as I could be.
Yeah, you're not 100%.
And you start to realise, like, I'm opening my laptop to do something and it's just not there, right?
Yeah,
my brain
what was I doing again?
You know, I'm on my phone again and I'm like walking around, you know, wherever it is, and I'm on my 10th coffee and I'm like, it's not coming.
Yeah.
And I think it's good experience then to basically go, right, actually, I probably need a morning where I don't do anything.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to take the afternoon and I'm going to just chill. And I'm going to go and I know it's panicky because you're like, I've got loads of tasks that I need to get done. But reality is you're not going to be doing them to the best of your ability, right?
And you'll do them much quicker when you do them later.
Yeah, like the next morning you open the laptop up, I banged out 50 tasks. I'm like, right, that was easy.
Yeah,
but I've stared at one for 2 hours a day before.
Yeah,
it's just
a great point.
So learning to read yourself when you're going at all these things and go, well, actually today I'm going to take the afternoon, or I'm going to do this.
Pretty good. Yeah.
You know, because it's the right thing to do. Or I'm going to have maybe just sit and think about more, you know, they're saying like you can work in your business or on your business. And they're two different things. So working in your business is basically doing the day to day.
Yeah.
But working on your business is actually looking at the business itself and saying, right, okay, what do I actually want to do? You know, what's working, what's not? Like, is, you know,
it's hard to do that sometimes.
What's the planning I need to do next to get to where we need to be?
Definitely.
So sometimes there's days where you think, well, actually, I'm going to just like talk through loads of things that I'm thinking and ideas with different people within the business, and just spend a day doing that rather than looking at any emails or anything.
Yeah, because you've got to keep
related.
Yeah, definitely. That's a really good point. And I find that I feel guilty though as well. I don't know.
The guilt's
and
a big
how
thing.
you manage that. And I think what I found is a good balance is people say, well, you need to have a day watching a film, or you need to have a day chilling. And I'm like, that would have so much negative impact on me. I feel so unwell. You know,
sat there when you know you've got loads to do.
Yeah. So like what I do is to say, oh, right, I'm gonna just go for a walk, or I'll go out, you know, go cycle
Gym's
or something
good,
like
exercise.
that. Or gym. Yeah, exercise. Yeah.
If you can get that in and like just say, right, I'm gonna maybe another thing, an easy one is like, don't start work till 11 one day or 10.
Yeah.
Just have a lazy morning, have a coffee. You're probably going to open your phone and look at some bits.
Yeah,
but not, you know, have to be on a call or jump into something. those little respites are quite good. But I'll find myself then with still at the computer at 7 though, if I've done that. So the hours will still be the hours.
And it's like sort of naturally, you're not thinking that. You're not thinking, well, I've started 3 hours later than I want to do, so I'll finish. You just do it.
Do you get interesting? You say about guilt thing.
Yeah,
so
I'm
do you
intrigued
look
to
at
talk to you about
clocks? Like, do you think about the time? Do you think you should be working at a certain time? I've always had that.
Absolutely.
It's quite stressful when I don't do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll, if you go bed a little bit earlier than I normally would, it's like, what am I doing in bed? This is sacrilege. Like, I've done something really bad here. It's that bad. The guilt is like, I've done something really bad. Yeah, or you wake up slightly bit earlier than you'd planned. Because I went to bed thinking, right, I'm going to get up early and I'll sort of nail those tasks. They're done. And then the rest of the day, it's going to be great because I'm going to be on top of it, and everything that's coming in, I'm going to be able to receive because I've got rid of everything from yesterday, And then you don't wake up because you've ended up having to stay at work late. And then it's like the worst thing ever. Like, I'm like, the whole day, I'm like, I'm awful.
Or you can be
up.
Person. You can be up early and you go, actually, my brain doesn't want to do this now.
Yeah.
And that's like a real thing as well, right? Where you're just like, oh God, there's so much to do.
We just do tasks that aren't necessary. Like, because like the premises we've got in Excel, I'll just start deciding I want to do a new, I've decided I'm having this new display where it displays all of our best students or something. I'm like, I really don't need to be doing that right now, but I'm doing it because I think that's important.
That's a nice task.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really nice task, and it's going to like benefit other people, and I like that.
Yeah.
And then you sit and go, oh,
I've got all this other shit I should have been doing.
Whoops, I haven't done that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's difficult, and I think what I see a lot of as well with members of staff is their emails running their life. Right, so they're coming in the morning, opening up the laptop, and it's almost like an anxiety thing of I've got to respond to everything that's coming in. But then what you're not doing is you're not planning your day. You're not making yourself effective, right? So your day's running you. You're not running the day, right? That's another.
That's a great point.
There'll be a lot of these on this probably.
Yeah, I like that.
It's a really good one because that then spirals you. So your next day, you're doing the same. If you do that for a month, you haven't done anything like, I guess, productive, really. You've just got through tasks. You haven't been moving things forward.
Yes, you just tick the boxes.
You're ticking boxes
necessary
that have been given to you by other people and may not be important and may not do anything for the business.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They might be things that everyone wants something. If you go in my inbox now, there's a million things that people want.
Yeah.
But are they important to the business? Maybe not. So
no, and it's taking that thing where it feels maybe to you you're being a little bit selfish, but you're not.
I'm not.
You've got to.
It's a greater good.
Yeah, I like that, definitely. And so I think another great link on that is just the accessibility to you as well. Yeah. So like, it's everywhere, absolutely everywhere. And I find that really hard. It's your laptop, then it's your phone, then it's like your watch. It's everywhere. I don't do watch. Don't
do watch.
That's a really good point.
Really good advice.
Yeah,
don't do watch.
Yeah. I had one for it only lasted 2 weeks. I thought, this is horrific. Like, you can, because it's quite nice sometimes, isn't it? So someone comes to the door and you've got a meeting, you just leave your phone in another room, and you've not got your phone for an hour, and you're actually in the room with that person. You actually care. And it's like now, I don't care where my phone is. We're in the moment.
If we opened our phones now, we'd be gone for another half an hour.
That's it, though, isn't it? Isn't that funny? But that's a really good point. So the watch was the thing, and then in the end, I was like, this is awful. You can't even go to the bathroom without somebody getting hold of you. It's everywhere.
I really think they're a terrible thing.
Yeah,
because there's a number of reasons. One is the anxiety will build quite heavily because you're being notified all the time.
Yeah, and you start feeling it when it's not even there.
Yeah,
that's really scary.
That's when it's really messing with your brain.
Yeah.
But the other thing is it's rude when you're sat with someone. So I feel like when someone looks at their watch, and it's always been the same, right? It's a gesture usually like, I haven't got time now.
Yeah, I've got
to be somewhere.
Let's wrap it up. Yeah.
And I think when someone's doing that constantly around other people, you do feel naturally that they haven't got time for you and they've got something more important going on. So I think the only benefits I'd ever see is maybe your health tracking.
Yeah.
And you maybe just have a band that just does that. But do we really need to, in this day and age, have notifications on our wrist when we've got a phone in our pocket?
When you've got people walking around talking to people in the shops and stuff. they're like this. This is getting weird.
It's getting too much.
Yeah. And that links well to that work-life balance, because I don't know if you find it. I just feel you can never escape. Really,
you need to have settled. I do days like today. I'm doing minimal email today.
Okay. Yeah.
So I have a day where I won't really look at them. And then I'll get to a point in the day and I'll flag everything that's important. But then tomorrow will be a much more admin heavy day. And if there's anything emergency in there, then obviously I'll action it. But I try and do days like that. Now that's
a really
taken me years to figure that out.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And it's a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
And some people are like, oh, you didn't reply to that. I always get back to everybody. But like,
Yeah.
just because you sent me it, this whole idea, by the way, that because you send an email that I have to respond in a certain amount of time,
I know it's. Yeah,
I'll
don't-
respond and I'll give it my due care and attention when I do. But we've got this. It's like people's phones ringing.
Yeah.
So I'll be sat with certain people, I'm not going to name names, but their phone rings, and regardless of what you're talking about, they'll answer their phone.
Yeah. Anything. It could
And I'm
be.
like, why are you answering the phone? Like, this is more, we've arranged this. Someone's just randomly, and they don't even always know who's calling them.
That's a really good
it's
point,
like,
isn't it?
why-
Well, we've scheduled this meeting. That's what we're doing at
Yeah,
this moment.
we're here doing this.
Yeah,
Why,
very good point.
But it's
Yeah,
a compulsion.
I like that.
It's like they feel they need to because of
and
the
they'll
technology.
Get, and they feel like they get in trouble for it as well.
Yeah.
But the latest thing I've got is so there'll be an email, and then there'll be a text saying, "Did you get my email?" And then there'll be a call in the office, and then one of the girls in the office comes to me and say, "Oh, we've just had so and so on the phone checking if you've got the email." I'm like, "Oh, blimey, have I missed it? You load it up. It was 2 hours ago." And I'm like, "I've been in a meeting." Like, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
So it's like they have not replied. So they WhatsApp me like personally because they found my number.
Is that a
somehow,
sales
like-
meeting though? Is that a salesperson doing that or
No,
not?
like, no,
just someone
not
who
at
just
all.
wants something back from you.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
did you get that? And then, or they'll email someone in the team and they'll say, we just want to give a bit of feedback on this. And I'm like, that's really nice. We love that. But then they'll message me, they'll find my WhatsApp and they'll go, well, they've not responded and they don't care about my feedback. And I say,
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll get back to you. And they're like, when was this? I'm really sorry I've not heard back. Oh, I emailed them this morning. This is lunchtime. I'm like, well, actually, they might not even be
Wow.
working today.
I think they should go back to letters. You should
Yeah,
post
that's
it.
been, yeah.
Second class, first class if it's important.
That's the only.
And then I'll write you back.
That's
Um,
interesting.
But I do think, like, yeah, the stress. I have it where I've had similar situations, and also my thing now with my phone is I don't answer any calls that I don't recognise a number.
Yeah, no,
Because
I'm
I
the
haven't
same.
got time to justify like a 20. You know, someone calls you, and it could be sales related. It could be something really innocent. It could be really helpful for the business. It could be someone wanted to buy something.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's just more like, I don't know what that call is. It's an unsolicited call, really.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like, really, I don't want to answer that call because if it's something important and they know me, they'll have either I'll have their number or they'll have me on email and they will reach out.
And they'll do an email then.
And they'll do it,
Yeah,
you know, I was
yeah.
trying to contact you over this.
Yeah, yeah.
And that feels weird to do that now. And I never was like that. But
No.
it's like, like if you look at my phone now, I can grab it and show you, right? I'll probably have this morning 10 calls at numbers I don't know.
Yeah.
So I can't answer all of them.
No,
I'm
you
sorry,
can.
guys. But
Well, I've got actually
I'm in here with you, or I'm doing whatever. Like,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No.
So tones on your phone or not?
See, that's an interesting one. Well, a lot of people have specific tones for, so someone will say, well, that noise is family. So I know.
That's a good
I
idea.
can't remember who it was I met, and I was really impressed. So
That's
they
really
have a
good.
sound. They'll say, that's all my family. So like my son or my daughter, my partner, parents, that is all that kind of tone. So I'm sorry if they ring and they never ring if it's less it's important. I will just leave the room and answer that.
Yeah.
Because I know it's, like
They
I don't know, a
wouldn't do
Disney
it.
tune.
Yeah,
That's them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
I know
wouldn't do
it's
it.
them.
That's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Unknown, unsaved is a certain ringtone.
Yeah.
So they're like, I don't need
No,
to
I
answer
don't
that.
need-
I
yeah.
don't know who that is. And then if it's work, they've got a noise for people that are in the phone, but for work. So, I mean, that would take weeks
That is
to do.
That is a gem, though, mate. If you can set that
So there's
up.
a bit of advice if
There
anyone
you go,
fancies
more
that.
advice.
I should give the credit to it was, but I can't remember who it was. But I was really impressed by that. But you talk about like having it on, like silent or, yeah, I'm mostly silent really,
I'm silent.
because it just drives you mad.
Yeah, the anxiety.
But yeah, and it annoys everyone around you.
It
'Cause they're
does.
like, can you just turn it off? Because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Is that? And they're like, is that actually people contacting you, or have you
It will
got like
be.
you've got a game
And it will be.
open or something? I'm like, no, it genuinely is. And they're like, well, that's stupid. And then they start having a go at you. You're doing too much. So I'm like, right, I just turn the sound.
I mean, well, not to reverse this, but what's your thoughts on, like people's judgment of your time? Because I find that quite hard. That's an ongoing thing at the moment. For
Yeah.
me. Like,
Yeah, I don't think they do. I think they think. I've noticed. I think they think you've decided to have this business. It's your fault that it's doing well.
yeah,
That's what I've had recently.
100%.
So I'll
that
go,
makes a lot of sense. Actually,
I don't know, and I'm very rare. I'll say to like my partner, and I'll say to my family, "God, it's been a hell of a week. I'm tired." I'm never one to like meet up with someone and say, "I'm tired. It's been so busy.
No,
I've not got much time for that." But they'll, yeah, it's interesting. That's really you've got me thinking there.
I found personally, like, it's the more, well, you decided to do this and you decided, that you wanted to start this business, or
yeah,
because everything is escalating and growing and there's more going on, right?
Yeah.
So naturally there's but that's what I never changed my tune. That's what I was doing. But it's very difficult, you know, because
That's an
the
external
perception
factor,
is
isn't it?
the perception is you're making this hard for yourself.
Yeah. Oh, and it's interesting you say that. It's quite nice to hear that. I feel like
Yeah.
this is also almost some sort of like business owner therapy
Yeah,
going on as
it
well.
is.
Don't you think? It's really good to hear. Because it's a bit like, yeah, well, you know, you decided to do this. Or I've got like, you know, because you've got your like name on the building. That's one I get. That's what I say. They'd be like, I couldn't get hold of you. Like, you're so busy nowadays. Like, oh, you've forgotten about us. And they go like, and I'm like, well, I'm so sorry. It's got really busy. I'm really grateful. It's great.
Yeah.
Well, you put your name on the side of a building on the high street. I'm like, well, I've
So
got
now
to.
you're getting contacted.
It's your fault that you're doing well. I'm, like, I'm sorry. I
How
love
dare
like,
you?
yeah.
How dare you?
That's really interesting. That's a great point for you to bring up.
And sometimes that stuff like that you do and the work you do filters into the lifestyle that you have and the resources you have. So there's like sometimes, you know, you find yourself pointing to that and going, well, actually, yeah, I do this, but this enables all these other things.
Yeah.
So if I don't do these things,
yeah, that's the
like,
hard to see
I can
that.
go on, you know, PIP or something and sit at home. I find an injury that I haven't got, you know, and just do nothing. But I think it's, you know, because it drives resource, right? And that is an important
100%.
factor.
Yeah,
we love what we do, but ultimately it feeds into a lifestyle that you can give to people around you.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of it's not a little bit. It's a big part of it. It's a passion, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you like people don't quite understand that. They're like, well, you don't have to do that. Or if you'll go like, you know, you'll go and see something, or you'll go meet someone and support someone else's venture, whatever. You don't need to do that. I'm like, I do, because that person was a big part of what I've developed, or they came to my launch of the business, so I want to go and support them when they launch their business.
That's nice. I like to do that
because that's really important. You've got to look after each other. Like
the amount of phone calls you get later on down the line where you've done something for someone and they're like, "Oh, I've had one this morning." Like the guy worked with him ages ago and he's just contacted us to offer us a load of work. I'm like, I haven't spoken to him for 2 years, but he's just, like, I remember you were really good. You did this, you know, and so. But I've, you know, whether I will do that work or not, I'll help them. And that's what I'll always do. You know, I'll give them my time and say what I can. And you can't give everything to everybody, but I do really try and give a bit to everyone. Yeah. Because I think that little bit might really help them. Yeah. And if you can, why not? Yeah. Why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah, I say that's weird here, and you say it like I say that word for word.
Yeah.
People are like, you don't have to, you can't help everyone. Yeah. That's what I've heard a lot recently. It's my latest thing. You can't help everyone. Especially because I work with a lot of young people. Like for me, it's like I want to inspire everyone. I want to make sure they've got access to everything, so they can kind of do like.
Oh, mate, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's huge. But it's like everyone's like, well, you can't have everyone, and I'm like, I know, but I can try. Like with what I've got and with the people around me. So yeah, that's really interesting that you brought that up.
Yeah, I think it's nice to do that if you get, because otherwise, and people would have done that for you in times as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
For me, I've got people I work with now who come in and mentor and help the team, and their knowledge is invaluable, you know, but they care as well because they know me. They care, so it's nice when you get to that point. I think, and there should be more of that in business. Because it can be very cutthroat.
Oh yeah,
and very harsh.
It's rare to see it, isn't it?
There's a lot of bad deals that are done, and people trying to get a leg up on someone, not legitimately. Like, I think you should always be fair. You should always play really fair.
Absolutely, yeah. I think the key words you say there are if you can, then you would. That's
definitely,
yeah.
I feel like you need a podcast for you to talk about your business. Actually,
well, that could be the next
series. That could be maybe
we'll swap seats.
Maybe we'll swap seats next time. And do
why
a bit
not?
of a,
it's not very far. We can do that.
So, what's the aspirations then for this?
That's a great question.
Let's talk everyone through now. We're partnered on this podcast.
Yeah. So the aspiration for the podcast and the idea for me is talking about. I think it's so many people I talk to just don't know what to do. Yeah. You know, like it's lonely. It's so lonely, especially if you're on your own when you're starting out. So many, and the thing I was going to say to you at the end, really, like to wrap it up, really, and this links really well, was just saying, you know, what do you do when you start? So many people come and say, got this idea, but how do I do it? I don't know how to do social media. I've got no money. I don't know how it works. It's scary. I've worked for somebody for 20 years. I can't do it. So like, that's a really important thing. So I think if I talk to people from so many different industries, some people have had a really rough ride, you know, some people have had an easy ride. Like it's never easy, but it looks like it on the surface, you know. I think that's kind of the aspiration for it. And the biggest one for me is just loads of different industries, because it shows that there's so many different routes. It's not always going to be people that are from the same industry that do the same thing, that are always well known for being successful, you know, like people that are in high paid roles and successful industries. I don't want it to be all of that. I want it to be people that maybe are from entertainment, people that are from hospitality, people that are from like, you know, all sorts of different stuff.
Shouldn't just be the revenue, right?
No.
It shouldn't be the driver. It should be the story, I think.
The story's a big one. Yeah. And I think sometimes even somebody might be listening who at the moment is really struggling with how to do work-life balance or how to control people getting hold of them all the time. And maybe just listening and hearing it as us two sat here going, that's hard, might be enough to just be really helpful.
I think it's the years as well of doing it. You do a lot of years.
Yeah.
It's very, you have to be really kind of resilient.
Yeah.
You have to be able to deal and weather a lot of storms. And that does get hard. So sometimes just chatting about what business owners tend to do, right, in my opinion, is they meet up and they go, my business is doing amazing, life's great.
Yeah, yeah.
And actually, we know that underneath the hood, there's probably problems. There's probably things they're really worried about at the moment that maybe they can't solve or they're trying to. So actually just being open about, you know, what the problems are, how you can get help, that there is things that you can resolve. Yeah. You know, I think I'd always like to be able to offer anyone any advice if they were like, this is a problem that I have. Starting a business is a whole series on its own, but I think to that point, like there's few bits of really good advice would be firstly to start, like actually start, you know, do something, try and find a customer of some sort for what you need. You know, try and get good financial advice in the beginning, because setting it up in the correct way and having someone who can look at your books and help you make the
that's
right
a big one.
The financial education is really important at the start, and I think there's a lot online now that would help you with that. You can register a company in like 20 minutes. It costs you like 30 quid.
Yeah, and that's it.
So realistically, you can create a business. First step, register the company, buy a domain, and probably then apply for a bank. And actually, those things don't take a long time. So then you're a company, and then you are a business. So
and that's it.
You're already a business then. Yeah. Then you just got to try and find someone to buy something from you.
Definitely. And then you've got a bit of accountability, which I like. You know, like say if you've got a domain and you've got a registered business, that's it. I've got a business. I've got to do it. You got to do it. And I think that sometimes it's just that first step. So that would be.
I don't think it's for everyone. We'll say that
100%.
I don't think it's for everyone. I think if you can, there's a lot more that goes into it than people probably realise at the start. Would they start? Maybe not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
there is a question.
Go over some things there. Yeah. Thinking actually, good point. But no, that's really interesting.
But I like the idea of someone. If there was anyone who was listening to this who thinks actually I've got an idea, like they can always run it past me or you, and we can talk to them.
Yeah, talk to people.
Why not? Like. We could help them, put them in the right steps. Like we're lucky in what we do that we work with so many businesses.
Yeah, I like that. Like
so
you're
we've
seeing
seen
so many
business types. You know, like
what's worked, what doesn't work so well. Yeah. That's
so we probably would have a bit of an inkling, and even maybe know someone that might be able to give them advice. Advice is good in the beginning. Go and meet someone who does it.
Yeah, and hear the story and how they've done it. But maybe I think a Q&A could be good.
Q&A would be really good.
I think if we maybe get some questions sent in advance.
Oh, brilliant.
Like 2 or 3, and we'll just read them.
Maybe that's like a segment we do at some point.
I like
perhaps.
that. Yeah. There you go. But thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming all the way to your own place.
I had to travel really far.
I'm so grateful you letting me be here. It does feel slightly strange me sat in your chair interviewing you in your place, but I quite like that.
I loved it, and I think for the first run through, dry run that we've had, it's probably quite good. Maybe there's some chemistry here. We don't know.
Yeah, I reckon it's a duo. There's a bit of what they called Ant and Dec, but
which one would you be like? Because I never know which one's which.
Which one is which? Dec's the smaller one, isn't he?
Yeah.
Or Dick and Dom might be more appropriate. Is that what you were thinking? They're all thinking that behind the camera set. But it's been really good. So we'll discuss that in more detail off, and we'll come back on air with the answer at some point.
Yes. Sure. Yeah.
Amazing. Cool.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye, fans.